Well, here we are again. Me and my honorable co-host, Jeff Bush, young, cool, and everything else. And there's our loyal Chinese pastor, Stephen, doing a great work. And then 007,
Comrade
Mark Tolson himself, comrade. And we are at a Buddhist temple in the same city and wanted to share some things with you. And so I'm going to turn you over to Mark for just a minute and let him talk to you.
All right.
The mic there's
As we walk through here, see the temple, just a couple things I'm going to show you. We often read in the Old Testament about people worshiping idols and people worshiping different things, but we don't really see it in America. But as you'll be able to see, they have incense burning here that they burn to their gods. And so in these buildings behind me and in front of me, there's idols in here. And you can see they have these big, elaborate, really beautiful buildings. But as you go inside, they don't represent beauty. They represent false gods, taking and making gods and things that we have made with our hands and worshiping them as God. Instead of worshiping the Creator, we worship the creation. And so people come here, and these are places for them to kneel. So they will kneel down right here and pray to Buddha. And there's some incense in there. And there haven't been too many people in here today. But as you go to the other temples, you'll see fruit, you'll see incense burning, you'll see all kinds of gifts and offerings that they gave to these gods. And there's some reading over here Stephen's going to show us.
Sure.
Okay. And when you come here, they have different sayings going on. If you're watching, if you can hear us, let us know. And we'll kind of show you in here. Can you tell us what's going on here, Stephen?
They're reading a book together, a Buddhist book. They are reading Chinese characters and doing a drum thing at the same time. The books talk about different stuff, talk about doing good things so you can go to heaven.
And so they're repeating these things over and over again.
They are reading the whole book from the
Beginning to end?
yes.
Okay. And then sometimes when you go into these, as you know about vain repetition, as the Gentiles, as the heathen pray, they do that here as well, say the name of the gods over and over again, thinking that they'll be heard because of their reputation and their continual saying. Here's another room full of idols.
Are you asking if they can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Tell them to give you something. Otherwise, your
say
hands could be covering the mic.
Say a comment or something to let us know that you can hear us. But he said very interesting. We'll walk into this building over here. As you can see, the buildings are beautiful. Looks like classic China. It's a beautiful day today. But everything that they're doing here is leading them away from God and not towards God. And so they have a lot of worship. They have a lot of devotion, but it's all aimed at the wrong person, at the wrong thing, at the wrong place. And as we come in here, you'll see these are not gods that you would think that you would want to worship. These things look terrifying, probably to most of us. And here's incense that's burning before their God here. And we'll step in here into this room. There's a gentleman over here looking at the books and reading. Some people coming into the temple. And we'll step into the room here, and you can see it's just full of idols. It's full of places for people to come and to worship a false god. The people will come in and bow down. They will light these candles, light this incense, offer the fruit to nothing more than something that they made with their own hands. They're not worshiping the one that created them. They are simply just worshiping something created by God like they were. Something that is less than them, not something that is greater than them. They need the truth. This is their hope. To come, kneel, pray, worship to this. Now I'm going to get pretty close here. It's in a glass box to keep it from getting dirty. I can talk to it, but it can't talk to me. It has ears, but it can't hear. It has a face, but it can't smile. It has eyes, but it can't see. It has a body, but it can't feel. It's absolutely nothing. And they're just idol after idol. It's not one idol that they worship. It's not one thing. But it's God after God after God. Multiple idols. You see here's candles burning. There's fruit. See the smoke coming up from the incense. For what? To die and go to hell. Because they turned from the living God to no God at all. To a false God. They've been deceived. They've been lied to. They don't know the truth unless we take it to them. God has done everything, and everything is ready, and everything is prepared. We just got to take this message, this good news, the gospel of grace of Jesus Christ, and let them know. They don't have to keep on working. They don't have to keep on doing the things that they are doing. They come out here to this little fire and light their incense, put it in here, thinking that it's going to give merit towards whatever they're asking for, and ultimately towards a better life. But we know each time they light it, it adds to their accusations. They're already sinners. Their sin is abounding. It's already been paid for, and only through Jesus Christ can it be forgiven and taken away. I'm gonna walk up these steps here. I haven't been up these steps yet. I just came in earlier as we were walking by, so I'm not sure what's up here. And as you can see, over these buildings and through the trees, there's skyscrapers representing thousands of souls who live right here next to this as they look down and see people coming and worshiping. We're going to walk up here all the way to the very top. There's somebody cleaning in here. And this is a place where they come and do services. So you see on the ground here, there's multiple places for people to pray and to kneel. And this represents Buddha and his disciples. And they'll come and worship them. Incense. Here's stacks of incense waiting to be bought with money that should be used for the glory of God, and burning it to a false god made of bronze, made of metal, made of brass, made of paper, who's nothing at all. A God who has to be cleaned up after, in his own temple. It's just not one God that they're making up. It's multiple gods. Multiple idols. And as you see here, represents hell. Represents punishment. Represents people being punished for doing wrong. The evils are painted right on their walls. The judgment, the things that happen, the reason that they're scared, the reason that they come and worship these false gods. Jesus has paid their price. We need laborers. Will you come? Will you come to China? Will you tell them of the good news? Will you tell them to stop working? Will you tell them to stop coming here and worshiping? That there's a better way? That there's one way? That there's a true way? It's through Jesus Christ. Will you pray with me? That God will raise up laborers to come to a land that has rejected him, and to be an ambassador of Jesus. It says, I know that you're at war with me. I know that you have chosen to reject me, but I come on his behalf to make peace. He died for you. You're his enemy, but he wants you to be forgiven. Pray with us as we try to reach China with the gospel. We can't do it on our own. We need more people who are willing to come, and more people willing to tell them of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you for listening to Mark. I can't see a thing because I got my sunglasses on. But anyway, thank you for listening, learning a little bit about what's going on here. Will you get more involved in giving? Will you get more involved in going? Will you go to the summit this year, where we want to have long discussions with you about what you can do? God loves everybody, wants everybody saved, doesn't want anybody to go to hell. Contrary to proper belief, he hasn't chosen to save some and damn some. And he wants you to be involved in getting the gospel out. And so I'd like to ask you to help us. And at the summit this year, we're going to have some heart-to-heart discussions with the missionaries and tell you how to get about doing this. So thank you very much for being here with us. Pray.